Hello, this is Jer, and today I'm trying to find out, does starting with Bionic dupes make the Carnivore and Locavore achievement much easier? I'm starting with the skewed asteroid. I'm going to explain later why I'm choosing this asteroid. So here are 3 Bionic dupes we are starting with. I made a rule, no booster unless it's advanced. It has to be made in the soldering station. We want one that is on digging. I thought about bringing in the ranching booster to start on Carnivore achievement early, but I think there's just a few things we've got to do before we work on that. After arriving on this asteroid, we start digging, looking for a little bit of sandstone and metal. Luckily, we've been given a few power banks and gear bombs, but we're going to have to learn to make our own pretty soon. With some material on the ground, next task is to get a barracks. This is where the dupes are going to be generating some microchips for us. And because we closed this off in a room, we'll be getting a barracks bonus for their morale. We've got 3 cots going in. 1 for each of these guys. Will expand the barracks as we get more dupes. So now that we've got a barracks, I'm putting together a laboratory. A little place to make some oxygen and charge up some batteries. And we'll get started with some research, though I've got a little trick I'd like to do just before we do any research. Also sliding in this crafting table, taking advantage of the light so that whoever's being able to use that can see. Manual generator going in so we can get some power. And there we have it. Ability to charge up some power, produce some oxygen, and I have a laboratory I can do some research. I'm thinking, why not create some research boosters before I actually do some research? The only problem is we need microchips to do that, so I want 2 of these. Plus, why not give another digging booster or shift to be able to use? So once we've got enough microchips for that, I will wake my dupes up. First set of microchips. Final microchips. Okay, so now that we got 6 microchips, I'm going to wake these guys up, tell them to get to work. Let's also take away that and that. I see Buffer working on the boosters. I'm not going to actually start our research project until that's created. Got a digging booster there. That's going to be for shift. So now they can dig through just about anything. And they can dig faster as well. Digging out a spot here. First thing I'm going to research is a gunk extractor. I'm going to put that up here, so we're digging out a spot for that. Plus a place to store gunk, which is going to be down here. Let's assign this booster. So research booster here. I'm going to send that to motherboard. Buffer. It's going to get suit training. Looks like we just need power to get that final booster. Motherboard making the final research booster. Okay, so with that, let's get motherboard to take that in. We'll check their skills. We've got Buffer, who has 10 to athletics, so they're running at twice the speed. We've got motherboard, which has science, so they can research 400% faster. And let's actually start the first research project, which is going to be sanitization, so we can get a gunk extractor. And then there is shift, which, where are you, shift? Follow cam. Way down here at 10 to excavation, so they can dig 250% faster. First research project is done. That is piping. Just need to do our sanitization. I know I'm going to put the gunk extractor here, so figure we'll get the pipe in place while motherboard finishes up research on sanitization. Now we can build our gunk extractor, which is going to go right here. Excellent. Now our base has a gunk extractor and a place to store gunk. So we've got a place to make microchips, place to do research, and a place to extract gunk. Next thing we are doing is going up, way up, because I want a place to generate a little bit of power for metal power banks without burning metal. And I don't know if I mentioned this earlier, but I'm also going for the super sustainable achievement, or at least not breaking the super sustainable achievement as I go for the locavore and carnivore achievement. Time to get our next bionic dupe though. Next bionic dupe is Array. I still think it's too early to get the ranching booster, so they get suit training. And I think it's inappropriate to allow them to take a break just now. Well, maybe not inappropriate, but inefficient, so I'll send Array there. Everyone else will be on a short break, and then we'll be back to it. So we are researching gas pumps. I know that there's a hydrogen vent up there that's going to be an early source of power. So we're building a ladder, going way up. Digging to the side just so that we can collect a little bit of sandstone to help build with our ladder. Doing a little bit of digging along the way, and we'll fill in some ladders in between. Continuing our way up, we are getting closer to the hydrogen vent, which I know to be right here. Shift making their way up, trying to avoid this polluted water. We're going to dig a little path over there for that to fall into. Buffer having to take the hit on the liquid exposure. We're going to open this up so that we'll have lots of room for hydrogen flow. Get higher to the top. A little bit of a liquid spill up. Check for anything down here. With our new technology, building a gas pump, making that out of gold amalgam because I'm expecting this guy to output very hot temperatures, 500 degrees. In fact, the last episode, I did a little bit of work to try to cool that off. I'm not going to be doing that right now. We just don't have the time. I simply want to make sure we get hydrogen so we can stay alive. So we're going to be taking in a gas line all the way down. And at some point, we'll have a hydrogen generator to take advantage of this. Oh, it is pretty hot there. Ship, get the heck out. Get the heck out. Working on supercomputer research. So we've got a power line going up to power the pump, and a hydrogen line coming down. I'm going to open the channel up a little bit, just to make it easy for hydrogen to flow up once we get electrolyzer. But thank you for being active right now, hydrogen vent. Getting this early is going to be a very key element. If I was not going for the super sustainable achievement, I would be looking for the black gold coal. Should maybe dig out a little bit of local sandstone. And research is going on. Let's do a rock crusher next. We now have a gas pump. So with that, next task is to get a rock crusher and a supercomputer together. This is going to be a second laboratory. And it shouldn't be too long till we get our next dupe. Once we get this, we'll be able to do some more advanced research. Buffer putting in our rock crusher. And our supercomputer's ready. So we've got another dupe. This is Byte. We're bringing in an electrical engineering booster. So we still don't have the ranching booster. But I think it's sort of like being on an airplane where you're supposed to get your gas mask on before anyone else. These guys should take care of power and being able to live before they worry about normal dupes who crave meat, apparently. So I sent the strangest schedule, terrible schedule. Well, I guess depending on how much you like sleep, but Ray is pretty much just in bed all the time creating some microchips. Meanwhile, the rest of the crew is going to be out down here digging out some spot for a power plant that I'm going to be putting in. Those microchips that Ray is making, two things I want. One thing is to get another booster, research booster, for motherboards so they can research even faster. But once we get some hydrogen generators down here, I'd love to get those tuned up. Going over a little bit of water. Next thing on the menu is automated lights. Before we use the rock crusher again, we're going to turn that on. And we'll also need to make a laboratory up here. That'll happen once we have lights, but I don't want to have those lights running unless there's actual dupe in the area. Before we continue on with a little bit more research, how about we give a third research booster to motherboard? We are now researching some electrical activity so that we can make a power plant and generate some eco power banks. I'm trying to avoid making any metal power banks. To this point, I have not made any. We'll see if I can get away with that to this point. We've got our lights in both locations. Let's also just double check. We've got our laboratory too. So at this point, we're pretty much just waiting for motherboard to do the research for both our sound amplifiers and advanced power regulation to build that power plant. So now we can begin looking into the ranch. Actually, maybe just one exception. I think I forgot one thing, the apothecary. We'll do that first. We need to make sure we can produce power, but we also need to make sure we can make some of these gear bombs. So we're placing some of the tiling here around it, around the base, just to make sure it's easy to get around. With the apothecary, we'll install that right here in between the gunk and the water, not floating in the air though. Alright, and then we'll go back to our electrical research. I see we've got some boosters, thanks to Array. We'll do a construction booster next. So how I plan to set this up is to have a series of ranches that all go up like this, side by side, to make it easy to get from ranch to ranch. And construction booster, but we give that out for now to Byte. And we'll move on to the next research project, sound amplifiers. Somehow Arrays using their bed without a tile. I did not know they could do that.
And we've got that research complete. So we'll put in our new power plant. Now that we've got the research to be able to get all our power plant and that together, we will do that. Get back to our stable projects later. So I've got 4 hydrogen generators going in. First thing we're going to do is set this up. We'll use the power with the hydrogen. We're going to be obviously controlling that with a smart battery. Let's make sure we have some gear bomb created. The next dupe that's going to be joining, and any other dupes from this point will be normal dupes, where we have almost 40,000 calories for that dupe. First specialization is going to be on medicine, so that that dupe can help keep these guys alive. So heavy watt wire going over here. This is where we're going to be charging some batteries for our bionic dupes. Smart batteries set up to control our hydrogen generators. How are we doing with hydrogen? Good amount. Liking that. Okay, time for our first normal dupe. So apparently I cannot count. I thought I had 6 bionic dupes. I only had 5. This is the 6th. This is Sync. And this would have been really sad if I didn't get another bionic dupe, because this was my last chance, assuming I'm only going to be taking 6 of these guys, to get a ranching booster. Okay, so we have a ranching booster without having to use the soldering station. Speaking of which, soldering station is being constructed. Let's give Sync that. And let's take their schedule and hold on. Ranching booster and give that, or set them up to go down here. No, taking a break just as you're arriving. I'm going to replace this area with heavy watt wires. And we are out of power. We can get rid of this battery. Don't want any batteries on a small watt wire line. Oh my goodness, and Byte has given us a tune-up. Okay, is everything in place for this? I think it might be. Let me just give Shift extra digging. We will... Oh. I screwed up. Because there's no way to get hydrogen without any power, except maybe there was a... No, there was not. Okay. Mistakes was made. Let's just put that back in the line really quickly then. And I set a schedule such that everyone is sharing the load of making microchips now. Okay, so with that running, we should see some hydrogen flowing down. Well, we do not. Is that because... we've got that connected. Okay. Oh no, what's not connected is this. There we go. There we go. Hydrogen on the way down. And now we'll let this stay online for a short bit of time, and I think that's probably enough. Pretty much. Oh, and also digging out a spot over here for normal dupes when they do arrive. Because I do plan to have the next dupe at this point to be a normal dupe. And there we have it. We've got our circuitry set up. Let me just plug this in. We'll go make a little bit of... Actually, we'll make a couple things. We'll make some copper here. I'll pull down some abyssalite. I've been collecting some abyssalite up here. And I will ask for some eco power banks. We'll create, if we've got enough metal, some power bank chargers. First one going in right there. Well, we are doing well, but I think I'm going to pivot for just a brief Oh, of course, you'd be going off again. We want to get in here and seal this guy off if we can. It's going to not be an easy task. I know. Alright, with that, let's just set this up here. allow them to get up to the top. We'll seal off the bottom. And then we can forget about all this horrible mission dupes. Seal and seal. And get up to the top. And seal that up. Okay, good. We are charging our first power bank. And in a series of these. And we're able to be self-sufficient. Or at least we're starting to be. More eco power banks being created. Research has progressed. Oh, that's research on our stable ability. Okay. Give me some time and I'll make a plan for our stables then. A simple plan for 3 hatch stables. Each stable's going to have a critter drop-off station. Oh, see, we're going to have to fish some shine bugs out after. That's all right. Yeah, critter drop-off station and a grooming station and a place to feed these guys. We're also getting in. There is our 4 power bank chargers. I see our first eco power bank. Now, watching the number of eco power banks is something I like to keep an eye on, so I'm going to permanently stick that up there. Along with gear bomb. Currently 3 gear bomb and our first eco power bank made. Research-wise, I just did electrolyzer research. We'll work on that next. Let's put in a fire pole maybe after this project. Actually, the next thing after this project is looking at all the buried objects to find some hatches so we can populate the stables. I think I'm going to put 7 hatches each stable for the time. Sink stole the bed for the normal dupes. Okay, Sink, you're supposed to be down here. So, if this goes well, and I think it should because it's just about half a cycle to the next dupe arrives, we'll be able to start taking advantage of the gunk and make our gear bomb before all our gear bomb runs out. Currently 2 units. Charging our power banks. And where are we? I should also watch out for our metal power banks, because if those run out, oh my god, they've run out. Eek. All right, well, maybe I should squeeze this in. Oh my goodness. Okay. All right, guys, build another one of these. We're basically out of power banks at the moment. Wow. Let's also ask for another 20 maybe of those. Maybe I should not have focused on the stable just yet. I should have waited another cycle or 2. Seem to be able to charge that. Let's just add, and I actually need a little bit more metal. We could be okay at this point. I like to have 1 per dupe. And I've got 6 dupes and only 5 of these power banks. We'll keep going, Stable almost set up though. And it is time for our next dupe. This is our first normal dupe, Doc. So they are interested in doctoring or medicine. I'm going to throw them down here on a schedule so they don't take a break until the cycle goes by. Let's also, very importantly, make sure that they get the medicine compounding. That's what we need to give them. That's going to give them the ability to use the apothecary. And I'll maybe create a little bit more metal. So I would like to add in light automation. And the next task generally is to go all over the base, wrangle any of these hatches, dig out some buried objects all over the place. There is Doc in the apothecary. And I actually haven't specified I want hatches dropped in here. Probably should do that. Start with maybe initially 5 per
We don't actually have... Oh, I see. Focus on finishing that so we've got a full stable. I should really just put everything in one, but you know what? Let's go back and make a priority of finishing this off before we go to the full fine hatches. Adding a little bit of extra spot here just to build stuff later on. Oh, another hatch here. Good. And look at that. Amazing. Doing a quick check to make sure these guys seem happy. Oh, another hatch. At the same time, not only am I finding hatches, but I'm finding some of this muck root, which is going to allow the dupes that consume calories to be able to survive. Because we're going for the locavore achievements. Can't plant anything just... Oh, and I just noticed that we want to relocate a few of these guys. One, oh, not just one, two, and three of these guys. Kick them out. Making some boosters. We've got now 4 hydrogen generators. Hey, another one of these guys. Next dupe we're taking on is Whisper, who's eventually going to be helping out in the stables. Throw them in a schedule down here. And what I'm working on now is an egg drop-off location. Because I'm worried about too many eggs getting clogged up in here, making things seem crammed for these critters. We got light for Doc now. Next part of this setup is to have eggs dropped off right here. I'm going to take all the material that's in here, sweep it away so that these hatches can't get at it. And I have to make this area inaccessible by the dupes because I don't want them to pick up eggs here and go in an infinite cycle, sending them here and here and here over again. So all I've got to do is put in 2 tiles like that to make that happen. And there we go. I'll be able to specify what eggs I want to be dropped off here at high priority. So sage hatch eggs and hatch eggs. Let's drop them off right there. So now I don't have to worry about the stables being filled with eggs. I do have to watch when the other types of hatch eggs arrive. But other than that, there we go. And I guess I will undo that little section. Now we're continuing on looking for hatches till we've got our stables filled up. See a spot over here we can't actually get to. Here's Shift, our best digger. And we also need a little bit more Abyssallite as well. So we want to crank out some of these power banks. Currently, we've got 6 on reserve. This is looking really good. No microchips, though. Ray is working on it. Oh, are you also... The other thing I'm trying to get is another, or even 2. Oh, hey. Didn't see you there. But a ranching booster, if we can. That would be really nice. Oh, and we're out of water. Okay, time to make a plan. So here is the plan. We're going to put a pump down under this little set of water. Going to bring in heavy watt wire on this side of things so that we don't actually need to connect it to that later. Actually really cool that they were able to construct it like that, but I need someone to... I don't know how this is going to go, to be honest, so I might have to do this again, but... okay. Yeah, I know you don't like it in there. Run. Okay, we spilled a little bit of water. That I'm fine with. That's not so bad. It's not so bad. Okay, that's just the first part of this project, though. So, apparently, this machine was left on creating boosters forever. And we've got a bunch of construction boosters. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. One more, way more than I need it. But let's at least assign motherboard, another research booster. And I guess if anyone else doesn't have or has a spot available, well, everyone gets a building booster. Boom, boom, all over the place. That's why I'm not getting a ranching booster. Nuts. Anyways, with that turned off, I should eventually get one down here. But let's refactor this area. Let's just rip everything up. Going to put in a spot here to dump in some water. And relocate a supercomputer right here in this laboratory. And I guess that can go too. Now, the next part is to close off our laboratory. We'll have our spot where we're going to be collecting water. So we've obviously got a pump that goes all the way to the bottom, as well as power that we're taking down there. And our apothecary, which is being stored right between that water and some gunk. We are expecting a lot of polluted water as this is being created, so we're going to be cleaning the air with some deodorizers. The old gunk being stored there. Old gunk location. We'll mop that up after. Check on these guys. Looking good. The main thing I want to see overall is a lot of eggs building up over time. Nice thing about this setup, I'm going to bring in a few normal dupes, but I can minimize that so I don't have to worry about feeding them until, of course, we've got enough eggs that we can ultimately turn to meat. But let's continue on with this project. Oh, and now I've got to make a decision. Do we take in another dupe? And I think with 136,000 calories, I'm feeling confident we can. Next dupe is Rock, who happens to be a loner, and I've got a very interesting thing to do with them. As if this whole thing was interesting already, but we are sending Rock on a teleportation mission. And since they're a loner, being the only dupe over there, that might actually work quite well. So let's dig a path to our teleportation equipment. Gunk drop off is set up, so I'm going to connect this to allow all future gunk to be dropped off there. And let's give rock the ability to dig through granite. They might be able to get to the teleportation equipment that way. Oh, and they are in a very weird schedule. No, probably not making sense. All right, rock cutting through all this. We also need our supercomputer. Oh, gold amalgam. I didn't really intend that to be made of that. Switch that back to copper. Okay, shift. Taking some uncomfort there, but let's send rock over. Yes, I see you. And now we need a plan over on this asteroid for rock. Rock over here should be able to take care of himself for a bit. There's lots of calories. We're just going to set up a ladder and dig out in various different directions. Meanwhile, over here, we have to worry about oxygen, which has gotten a little bit low. I did have two oxygen fusers. We destroyed one. So we're going to put in 2 electrolyzers. That's going to help increase the amount of hydrogen. We've got a good amount of that, actually, which is really nice. Let's check that we still have a laboratory. We do, an apothecary, gunk storage. And for research, I don't know that we have any more urgent things to do, so I'll just keep things going. Maybe insulation might be needed at some point. First electrolyzer running. Making this out of gold amalgam just in case they get a little bit hot. And we get our second electrolyzer. Decided to switch over to agriculture research. But anyways, I did not plan a nature reserve very well at all. I've been smashing all kinds of wild plants, looking for hatches and that. Anyways, luckily there are 3 plants right here. And I'm going to try to combine that with a plant over here. It's probably going to be too big, but anyways, we'll find out what kind of size we have. And then do something about it if it is too big. So now at the same time, I'm going to be watching rock. Making sure they don't get into any trouble. Oh, and we've got a ranching booster. And that is going to go ineligible. Hold on. Oh, yeah, just make sure I take that off. Oh, not we put it back on. All right, so now Sync is even better at stables. Awesome. With our batteries, we are up to 13. Hey, that's pretty good. Add in another dozen. Let's get in another ranching booster. Doc with a skill. This is a good question. What do I give Doc? Let's give them construction. Making sure Rock has a few things to work on. Well, I go back and make sure our nature reserve is able to be formed. I suspect I'm going to have to take some tiles away in this little section. Oh, door here that needs to be there. Okay, make sure we don't open the stable doors. And this door here needs to be shut to keep shine bugs out. If we go to the top, there we are. Okay, what kind of size are we talking? 200 and something. Oh, I see that this is not... Okay. Alright, well, this is easily fixed, but I will have to reroute this heavy wire line. Probably should have this built before we take this down. Though we do have a spare 14 power banks to go. Okay, with that, take that out. Put in a door. Okay, so that is taking us to 159, needs to be 120. This, okay. Just put in a bunch of doors like that. It's going to be annoying to walk through. But we can open these doors, of course. Even with these doors, we have to take a good amount of space away. So we're going to actually use this little spot here to get over. Get a ladder, go up and around. To push in our lavatories. Or outhouses there, rather. We'll see what we get when these two are sealed off. Still are waiting for the research, I think. Oh, and I have another decision to make. Our next tube is Flint. So they're going to be staying on this asteroid. They've got a lot of digging skills, so it'll help us explore around. And probably should make sure that Flint is in a actual normal schedule like that. And where is research? Oh! Huh. I did not have the building enabled. We're also going to get rid of this guy. Okay, I was wondering where research was not going anywhere. So we're also putting in storage here for dirt. And I also think it is time for our fire pole to go in. Like this. Maybe not like that. Cancel. Okay, so now we can make our nature reserve, assuming that's the appropriate size. Let's see here, we've got to get in a park sign. Try putting, did I leave myself a place to put that? I do not think I did. Okay, well, we'll just take that out. Size one. Oh, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Oh. I need to take one tile out. Okay, just a sec. And I think I found my one tile to fill in. We're going to put that right there. That means that this door will no longer be used, but we'll just use this door instead to get out. And we want to go further down. And I guess I'll need a mesh tile right there. A little bit of a carbon dioxide pit down there. We'll deal with that soon. But let's just make sure that we've got a nature reserve. Something is... Okay, we also need to put this back. Forget that. And we've got 118K, so we're at the right size. No, wait a minute. Okay, never mind. Well, I feel like I'm getting a little tired and susceptible to mistakes, so I think I'm going to finish very, very soon. But just before we do, we can see we've got a park sign. Just want to handle the carbon dioxide so I don't forget this when I come back. So we'll put this in now. The other thing I want to throw in before we go is the automation here to make sure that we've got hydrogen. Seems like we do at the moment, but that may not be the case forever. Be very careful not to get rid of that tile, otherwise we no longer have a nature reserve. We've got that set. And this one's set as well. The last thing to add today is this canister filler. Boom. And with our logic set up here to look for carbon dioxide, we should be starting the process of removing that, storing that here. We're going to maximize that out. Just make sure that this is set up well as well. 120, looking for hydrogen. Okay, well, let's just finish off looking at our stables. We've got 9, 5, and 5. Why do we have too many in here? Oh, I bet I know. We have a new type of hatch egg, I bet. Yep, there it is, stone hatch egg. That's important we address. And that egg being dropped off as well. Okay, well, let me just leave you with some of my thoughts before I go for today. Oh, I noticed some of this polluted water. Okay, this is something I'll forget if I don't do this now. Apparently, another little bonus project here. This is something that I want to get slime in, not forget next time. So we'll put slime in both of these, maybe high-ish priority. So I didn't realize that was not polluted water, that was slime. And we've got a little bit, not a lot, but a little bit of slime lung, something that we can address by cleaning the air later on. So starting with Bionic dupes, from what I see so far, very nice. Though we do, let's just check the oxygen level. All right, except for obviously carbon dioxide has to get better, but that will happen in time. Yeah, the key to this, keeping these guys alive, if you're not wanting to waste metal, is having a hydrogen vent, which is not always the case. So that's why I chose this particular asteroid. Little thing to dig away there. Other than that, I do like it. In particular, if you're also going for the Locavore achievement at the same time, we can minimize the amount of regular dupes and scalding. Oh, okay, you're picking up slime that's close to there. Since this is a bit of a hazard zone, I wonder if well, there won't be any future slime. I'll come back to that. I can't do everything. I think I've got to put it away for the day. Anyways, it is my birthday weekend, so apparently my friends have planned a bunch of tasks for me fun things for me to do. I would rather be playing Oxygen Not Included. Oh, you need more slime there. But apparently I won't be able to do that this weekend. At least I don't think so. Oh, nuts, Whisper. You're ending in such a terrible thing. I did set up this there, so apparently Whisper is going to be in the triage cot. But anyway, yeah, leave some comments and thoughts if you have them at the end of the weekend or whenever I get to play. I will look at that. I think we are going to be in a really good state to get Oxygen Not Included. Oh. Okay, I have to at least make sure Whisper survives, right? We're not going to leave on that that cliff note hanging. Okay, so there's Whisper burning a little bit. What was I saying? Oh yeah, so if you've got any thoughts, let me know. And next time I'm playing, we will see if I can get the Carnivore and Locavore achievement. Just want to point out, my goal is not to get it as fast as possible. I just don't want to have to get the incubator, the micro musher, and micromanage a bunch of stuff. I want to coast. Anyways, we'll see when what happens when I come back later on. Talk to you guys another time. Hope you enjoyed.